All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And in today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about the 3.0.2 patch notes. Now, these will be going live late Halloween night, so by the time this video gets uploaded, they will have already happened. It'll be good for you guys to know for your build. I will be covering most of the changes as it pertains to PvP. Before that happens, I just want to say I think it's awesome that more updates are happening bi-weekly through Amazon Gaming Studios, and they're constantly making changes to improve their game. And when stuff happens that is kind of game breaking, they're quick to make these adjustments. I can't tell you guys, coming from a game that didn't do this, it's such a nice, refreshing change of pace to see like stuff and go, oh wow, this is kind of busted. But knowing that like they have a thumb on the pulse of the game and they're paying attention to things and adjusting it. So just want to say, keep doing what you're doing. I think this is fantastic. And so, yeah, I'm going to dive into the PvP stuff, but first things first, alt characters. Players will no longer be restricted to one character per world that can PvP at a time. All their characters will be able to PvP. Our changes to influence and other protections like shell company mitigation largely reduce the impact of alt characters on territory control. If exploits appear, we will bring back the restriction, but otherwise intend to keep it off indefinitely. Okay. Artifacts updated the Lost Stopwatch artifact to provide additional threat generation similar to normal taunt gems. Sounds good. Fixed an issue that prevented players from getting an artifact to drop again after not picking it up following a disconnect. Now, I've seen this complaint a few times. I hope this didn't impact a lot of people. This sounds awful. And the reason that is because you're farming for an artifact, right? And sometimes artifacts like Abyss are really, really hard to get. And let's say you finally get the drop, and as you get the drop, you disconnect. Well, the game says, well, you received the drop and you disconnected from the game. It will not give you the drop again. That's how this is functioning. And so I hope not too many people spent hours upon hours farming something that the game gave them zero chance to get, even though they didn't get it because of a glitch or a bug. That sounds awful. That sounds really awful to me. I'm glad they made this adjustment. It's too bad they can't go back and retroactively give these people these weapons, but I get it. Like, how are you going to track that? And so glad this has changed because, yeah, shit happens. I just hope it didn't happen to a ton of people. Fix an issue that caused the well-rounded perk on the attuned leather pants artifact to not provide 10 to all stats and incorrectly display on the tooltip with the magnify perk. Okay. They increased Heartrune damage to the following Heartrunes. Dark Ascent Heartrune was increased by 20%, Firestorm Heartrune by 33%, and the Devourer Heartrune by 26%. So pretty substantial damage adjustments to 3 different Heartrunes. Weapons, Blunderbuss got a small base damage reduction from -9% to -12%. It makes sense. Blunderbusses are extremely bursty. I don't want to see them nerf it too much because that's what they are. That's what the weapon is. It's supposed to hit hard. And so we'll have to see how this is impacting. I don't run Blunderbuss. I've been leveling it. But yeah, I mean, you want it to be able to do the one thing that it does. I can see how it's a little bit high on the damage scale right now, and they're making a slight adjustment. We'll have to see how it plays out. Ice Gauntlet. Fix an issue that caused the player to get stuck in the tomb pose if Ice Tomb was destroyed while spawning. Yikes. Rapier. Fix an issue that caused the Flurry Fleeting Strikes upgrade to not function properly. Fix an issue that caused the tooltip to not show the updated value of 5% from a previous balance change. Okay, so this is more of a PvE change. It's just good to know that the highest damage PvE weapon, single target, is getting more damage because it wasn't functioning properly. And so I think AGS is probably looking at this and they're going, hey, we're going to make sure it works properly before we make adjustments. Once everything's working properly, then they'll probably go in and make an adjustment. It's really strong. It's really strong. I would be surprised if this didn't get an adjustment in the future, but we'll see. They made an adjustment to some perks. Physical and Elemental Aversion. Increased max power from 4.2% to 4.5%. Damage type conditioning. Increased the power from 4 to 5%. Slowing Tether, which is Void Gauntlet, adjusted the Disintegrate bonus to only apply a single stack of Disintegrate on use. Apparently this was proccing nonstop, and so this is a substantial adjustment in damage. We'll have to see how much. I'm not sure exactly like how devastating this is going to be, but yeah, I've been trying to farm the Void Gauntlet because it was pretty nasty on PTR. It's been pretty nasty to encounter. I haven't gotten it. Hopefully this isn't just nerfed to the ground. I doubt it. It's still It still sounds pretty good to me. Healthy Toast changed from 11% of max health to 15% of base health. I was surprised that they did this, but then at the same time running Ankh myself, because I run Ankh, my mana potions heal me for more than my health potions, and I think they probably made this adjustment with that in mind. Because when you run Ankh, they want you to have like some sort of reduction in health somewhere, and because your mana potions, because they have a lower cooldown and they were healing for more, it literally offset like the healing loss you were getting from running Ankh with health potions. I think they did this and they're like, hey, we want to make this a little bit more of a negative to run Ankh, and I can see it. I can see it. And yeah, that makes sense to me after thinking about that sort of interaction. And we'll have to just see exactly how that plays out. Added a 1-second cooldown to the Tumbler Foot Wraps Shirking Blessing perk. I think this is a good change. I think it should have started off this way. 1-second cooldown gets rid of a lot of the potential glitchy, buggy issues. Like, it didn't have a cooldown. And so apparently, like, if you dodged a blunderbuss like Shrapnel Blast, hypothetically, every single pellet you dodged would count as part of the heal, so you could randomly get like 3, 4, 5k heals off of running the Tumbler Feet Wraps with no cooldown. And so 1 second makes sense. Shirking Heals is 5 seconds. This is 1 second. You still get this quite a bit faster. It still provides Fortify. It still provides Empower. It's still a great artifact, in my opinion. Fixed an issue that caused the Shirking Heals health percentage heal to scale with gear score. Now caps at 1.5% of max health at 700 gear score and will properly show the scaled value in the tooltip. Now, I watched the Micro video earlier today. Apparently, Shirking Heals is reduced by about 50%. It's a 50% reduction. It's pretty substantial. You can call it a nerf. You can call it an adjustment, whatever. Like, it was something, and now it's halved. I still think it's good. I still think it's going to be worth running for, especially for like more solo players looking for incoming healing. For myself, I will still be running Shirking Heals. I still think it's going to be really good for that reason. With that and Tumbler Feet Wraps, I should get around 4k heals per dodge for the Shirking Heals plus tumblers. I don't see an issue with that, and so I understand. And I agree that the healing that I was providing was way too much. I do agree. I think an adjustment was needed. Now, in my opinion, I think Shirking Heals has a place in the game. I think Shirking Heals is a really good adjustment for New World combat in general. And if you disagree, just hear me out. The difference between Shirking Heals providing some healing and not having it exist at all is the fact that instead of people trying to stay and dodge to fight you, they run away. And they just run and they run and they run. And so instead of having this fight, attack, block, counter, dodge type of combat where you're engaging and fighting the other person, which is fun and enjoyable and rewarding types of combat, you have people just running nonstop and they're hoping that their cooldowns come off of cooldown faster than your cooldown abilities, and they can get the distance and they get farther away so they can proc their potions. And so one is enjoyable and fun to deal with, even if, you know, sometimes they reset the fight a little bit or they get a heal in a spot that you weren't expecting. And the other one's annoying, just chasing somebody nonstop. Like, one's fun and one is not. And so I do think Shirking Heals has a place. I think Shirking Heals should exist. I do think that it should be strong. I also think that it was too strong, and it's a solid adjustment. And I also think that Ankh with healers is pretty freaking crazy, man. Like, I've posted a couple gameplay clips talking about this, but man, frontline healing with healers in the back, it's really tough to die right now. And that's going to be the end of this video. There's nothing else PvP related. Overall, really good changes. All these changes are good. I agree with them. I think there's nothing I'm looking at here where I'm like, oh man, why would you do this? Which is it's a nice, pleasant change from a game I've played in the past. So yeah, I'm just going to end this video here. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.